Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back and welcome to Detox tonight. Such a nice way to wind down the day. I have plenty of time if you're here on the West Coast, so practice is 1 hour, 7:30 to 8:30, and so there's still some time to take your practice with you before you fall asleep and see how it resonates. And so we're really opening up a space. I know we're doing a 1 hour practice, but it could be up to 2 or 3 hours of benefits immediately thereafter class, as those can kind of hover with you into the rest of your evening. So thank you for joining. And if you'd like to participate in a 5-minute mindfulness meditation, make your way into a comfortable upright seated position. Rest your palms on your knees or your thighs. Feel the stack in your spine. Make any adjustments. If you notice that you're leaning far forward, find the balance in your sitting bones. If you're sitting on the ground and it's pretty tight in your hips, put something underneath your bum. Use your stack. It could be a yoga block. It could be a blanket. It doesn't have to be fancy. Anything to elevate your hips, and then you can cross your legs. And find that plumb line and where you feel a little bit lighter. And begin to draw the awareness to your body as you sit with your body, sit with your mind. Pay attention to sensation. And at the same time, we can acknowledge distraction. We could see where the mind goes. And all the while maintain a loose focus on the air coming into your body and the air going out. And so the breath itself actually creates an anchor or a point of stability for your practice. And so you're not reacting to all the distractions. You're not reacting when you get a little bit more uncomfortable and with sitting still or what you might be seeing. So just soften the muscles on your face and relax your tongue. It may feel good to take a deeper breath in and then feel on your exhale, settling into the posture. And we'll begin to observe here. Little to no effort on the breath. And have a nice time exploring your practice this evening. I'll hold the space and so that you can loosen your attachment to time, and then I'll call you back in a few minutes. Take a moment and to observe where you are. And reflect on your meditation practice. Unless you'd rather continue until we start our detox, you're welcome. Observe, reflect, and then take a breath and so that you could sit up nice and tall. And then be kind, be gentle, and patiently, as you're ready, go ahead and begin to bring yourself back into your environment with your eyes. Notice if you feel a bit different, if the state of your mind has changed, if the way that your eyes see things has changed. The outline of things may be a little bit more vivid, and the colors certainly could be more vivid as well. Welcome everybody, good evening. And I want to thank our friend Ari again for dropping off this t-shirt. Check out at Trusty Scribe on the Instagram. I came to the studio one day and there's a package left inside the front door, and there's a shirt. Super sweet. Howdy, Brian Boone. Hi, Emily. Hope you're doing well. It's a whole another layer. I was mentioning this morning, a whole nother layer of silence being back in the studio. And I want to say thank you again to everybody for your emails and your messages on Instagram, sharing your experiences. Sometimes you're finding relatability in something that was said during a practice. And it's super sweet when you share those things. And I don't expect them to be good. If you have, anything, any comments or feedback about your practice or how it felt in your body, please send everything. Any way we can connect this process. We know we're here opening ourselves for the good, and for the nurturing element of, what life has and to offer. But that doesn't mean that it's always supposed to be easy. When we say that we have to release expectation, we have to release all expectation. And sometimes it could be difficult. Sometimes a sequence, may have not felt great at a certain point in your body. It doesn't mean you're wrong and I'm right, or I'm wrong and you're right. It just is what it is. So we establish this relationship and trust, and through our practice with our breath, and that is the key. Hey, Andre. Hi, Sasha. Yes, of course, Ari. Spread the love for sure. Hi, Linda. Good evening. Welcome. If you have a yoga block, certainly bring a yoga block along with you for this practice. If not, no worries. You could have a pillow or a blanket. We call it the stack. And just so everybody knows, I'm not drinking a Red Bull. This is a non-caffeinated branch chain amino acid carbonated drink, sugar-free. It's called NoCo. It's pretty good. I've had these before, though, and people are like, are you drinking 5-hour energy before you teach yoga? I've actually been off caffeine for, I think it was last April, so over a year. Somewhere I started doing the no caffeine and in tandem vegan around the same time, and I think it was during April because that's when we normally do our 21-day yoga challenge. I mean, what's 21 days now? Some of you have been going for over 60 days with us and over 100 classes. So I think we've taken the idea of the challenge out of the situation. Of course, other than being in the heat definitely adds another layer to things. Hi, Pamela. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well in Sydney. Oh, that's amazing, Emily. I think it definitely comes in little spikes of, moments or, when we're curious and we, and have the opportunity to really feel the relationship to the breath, it is so powerful. It still happens. I don't think it matters how many classes you've done. It still happens, and those practices will stick out. And I was mentioning to another Sasha, not the Sasha on this class right now, but we were messaging, and she's gone back to take a detox class that has resonated with her. So it's cool if something happens like that, Emily. Make a little note in a notepad. Mark that class because she's gone back and she's, feeling certain ways, and then she knows that there is something that resonated in that class, and it's helped her and feel good. Perhaps when things were getting a little wavy, she's gone back to take that class. So make a little note. It's a huge benefit to having all of these classes recorded and available. We can always go back to them if we want to go back to them, or if something calls us to go back to them. But it's nice that there's the versatility. If you've noticed, in all the classes, we've never actually done the same thing twice. And so there's always a different, unique combination, right? We're just unlocking parts of the body we're going through. And then that, infinite relatability of doing this and then doing that, just a little tweak here and there, yet you'll feel the familiarity in the classes, so that you can ground yourself. Of course, if there was no grounding element, it would be very difficult, and our minds wouldn't probably call us back to it. Derek Loudon, good evening. Hey, Biz. You might be right. Might have been November, the prior November for caffeine, and then vegan by April. I think so. Yeah, I kind of, when we have those challenges at the studio, I'll normally tag. So you guys have learned a little bit more about yoga life. And yoga life is something that I really don't even get to talk about in the studio classes because everybody's coming in. We have this fixed hours, so there's much more space on this platform to present a little bit more. And I certainly go into a greater detail around yoga life in our teacher training. But when we do these, I'll always tag in some element of yoga life, something that I can do in my life, not necessarily as a challenge, but more as a way to explore and see how something feels. These aren't rigid rules or goals that I'm putting in place. Those really don't apply in the philosophical approach. I tried doing vegan years ago, and it just didn't work and didn't feel good. Did it this time, and it's been a relatively smooth transition and process, and feel good doing it. So I think we really got to just honor our patients and listen to our bodies. Woni, good evening. Hi, Christine. Christine, I wonder if you got my message on the beginning of a detox in regards to your question about limbs falling asleep, or your hands falling asleep, or your feet falling asleep. And I just explained in short that if that's happening in the first part of the pose, like the first minute, first minute and a half, you probably want to make a little mindful adjustment. You don't want to sit with that for 3, 4, 5 minutes. But if it's coming on later in the posture, like the last minute and your toes are starting to get tingly, you can certainly stay with that as long as it's in that realm of discomfort and not pain. And then just come out nice and slowly, and that blood will flow back to that part of your body. So in the beginning, make a little tweak, a little adjustment mindfully. If it's happening in towards the latter half and to the last minute, then you can stay with it and see how that feels in your practice. Dana Jackson, what's up? All right, you guys, I feel like we got a full house tonight. So I'm going to start the playlist here on earbuds if you're following along. If you'd like to stream on Spotify, you could start your playlist now. And then once you're situated with your video and your audio, okay, we're all AV pros at this point, audio and video. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable lying down onto your back with any pads or pillows underneath your body, wherever it feels good. You know your body better now than you did 60 days ago. There's a benefit, and so support it. If you notice your bones curve a certain way, you notice these things, and then you can definitely in detox put padding under bones, and so it's not painful. Okay, and then let's kind of lie down like we're getting a chalk line drawn around us. Take your arms into a cactus shape. And let your heels slide off the side edges of your mat and your big toes fall away. It might feel good. The heaviness of the body will and quite possibly increase but also decrease the volume of noise in your mind. So don't count yourself out. If you get into a posture and the noise goes up and the thoughts are stirred, and you think of it like stirring the pot. Eventually, as you consider and sit deeper into the stillness, and the opportunity is that pot begins to settle. So you don't have to count yourself in. You don't have to think you're doing it right, or same way count yourself out and think that you're doing it wrong. The beauty and the space of our meditation sits in the essence of your being. Not your ability to do, at least for the next 60 minutes. You got a whole life ahead of you to do shit. We're going to do plenty of things. Hopefully we're going to do things, right, that not only come to value ourselves, but consider everybody else at the same time. And sometimes that can be a tricky proposition. So you might even develop an entire practice around that. Value that it adds to you, but also and see how it affects everybody else. And soften the breath, close the eyes. And let go of the jaw and the cheeks and the tongue. And let's take a sigh here. And we have arrived. And to what exactly, we're not sure yet. And to watch and see. And to plant the seeds and watch them grow. If you remember, about 20 days ago, I mentioned planting seeds. Well, those seeds have been growing. Every time you come to your mat, it's like watering those seeds. So, and see where they're at tonight. feel here you may notice that your kneecaps have gotten a bit softer. And I'm going to give you two options. And depending on the space in your body, first option, right knee into your chest. In traditional wind relieving, interlace the fingers onto your right shin. If the knee fairly easily comes pretty close to your chest, okay, lift your head up, and then left hand grabs the outside of your right foot, and right hand grabs the inside of your right foot. Okay, from there, bring your shoulders and your head back down towards the ground. It's just about deepening the flexion into your right hip crease. Okay, wherever you can be, sit, settle. Soften any tension, any strain. Let the breath relax in the posture, and you're welcome to close your eyes. And this one's great if you're holding the foot because it tends to make your head hot. So if you got a hot head, if you got that inner fire and ability and to react, it's good to feel the heat of the hot head. Relax the tongue, stay soft around the lips. And we'll be here to observe 10 more breaths. And feel all the sensations like little bells dinging in your body, awaking, stimulating, in relationship between your body and your mind. And even though you may think that you're holding on, you're actually working the process of letting go. And whether you have the foot or the shin, And slowly as you can, let the legs slide out of the hands. You should feel that energy in your arms all the way back, rebounding into your heart center as you release your right leg, of course. And then go ahead and settle, soften, and embrace the stillness. And watch the expansion, the opening, and whatever you're feeling right here, right now. And as part of your brain, you have conscious and subconscious. And here you're actively participating by observing things that may be moving from the subconscious to the conscious. And so that could be interesting. And soft belly, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can let all the air out of your lungs. And let's set up a side body stretch. Bend your legs. And don't worry, we'll get back into that other leg in a bit. Roll onto your right hip. And bring yourself up onto your right elbow. And so elbow comes out underneath your shoulder, if not even a little bit further in front. And straighten your right leg and then stack your left leg on top of your right leg. And you can keep it chill here. Stay on your forearm, on your elbow. And you feel your left side body collapse. And then the underside body expands. So you're creating a lateral curve, utilizing gravity. You notice if you're holding or if you're gripping. And this may feel really good, especially if you did the practice this morning. Remember, they're all connected. It's building trust in the relationship of connection and seeing that you don't have to worry about it. See, you didn't have a plan for the class this morning, and you don't have a plan for the class tonight. But I assure you that they're all connected. And they've ever been connected since the first day that we practiced together. And detox is actually a really great practice. And to lift us out of the heaviness, I know that we're settling into the heaviness of our bodies. But it helps circulate and release if the mind has gotten heavy, if you've gotten stuck into a deep pattern or cycle of stress, or even a worst case, depression. And detox can actually bring you a lot of lightness. And perhaps it starts with simply acknowledging where you are, how you're feeling. And be honest and truthful and with yourself. And you can stay on your elbow. And for the second half, you want to come up a little bit higher and turn your right hand out in front of you. And then start to straighten your right arm. If it's too close, you slide it a little further forward. And the shoulder can shrug, the chin can relax towards your chest. And you might feel this move further up your side body, even into your armpit. And continue to watch the air come into your body and the air go out of your body. Equate sitting with these sensations in detox to, when you get a bruise, and if the sensation that doesn't feel good but kind of feels good, and this kind of falls into a similar category. Otherwise, why would you stay in it at all if it just didn't feel good? Certainly not because I'm sitting in a room virtually and teaching you from sometimes halfway around the world. And there's something inside of you. All right, if you came up onto your hand, and go really slow, come back down onto your right elbow. And then from the elbow, let's just scoot our hips to the right a little bit. And then go ahead and roll all the way down onto your back. You notice sometimes you get the little pops and the cracks, and you just want to avoid clenching or gripping with your body in transition. Support and then go ahead and release into the rebound, arms by your sides. And take a deeper breath over into your right nostril, into the right side of your body. And see, and if you can even notice a light difference, there's shadow and light when you close your eyes. See if that feels the same. If you notice something a little bit different in the right eye versus the left eye. And as I was saying earlier, you've never actually done this sequence, even if you've done thousands of detox classes with me, you've never done this sequence before. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. And keep your left leg long. And tuck your left hip over to the right. And then twist. Bring your right knee across the mat to the left. And your left hand can go and rest on the outer right thigh. And let your right arm slide out into a T. And normally in a class I'd say if you're too close to your neighbor, you could always cactus your arm. And just like we started, so if you're too close to your dog or your cat or Sasha and Andre, if you're too close to each other, bend your arm like a cactus on the right side. And let's go ahead and settle here. And if there's any unease to the breath, remember the poses sometimes are like stirring the pot. And all you got to do is stop stirring and be still, and then the contents inside the pot will settle. Wherever you may have gone, bring yourself back to your body. And slowly we can start to bring the twist back. You roll your hips down square and flat. And let's release the legs. And just the hips. And flatten the back through your shoulders and then all the way back to where we started. And go ahead and make a cactus shape. And with your arms somewhat over your head. If you ever feel kinks in your neck, all you got to do is ground the shoulders, lift your head an inch or two, and then set the back of your head down. That will relax your jaw. And you guys are going to be able to do all of this so intuitively in different parts and places. Nobody will even know that you're doing it. It's not like you'll be lying down on your back, but you'll be like, ooh, now's the time and to experience the rebound. Sitting in some resistance. And now's the time to experience the rebound. And don't be surprised if you nod off. I'll call you back, don't worry. And let's keep the right leg straight. And start to bring your left knee towards your chest. And the beauty of Detox is that you don't have to do exactly what you did on the first side. So hands on the shin. And feel for the space through the compression of your left hip crease. And start there. This may be plenty. And solely for the sake of compressing deeper into your left hip crease. And if you'd like more, lift the head. Your right hand grabs the outside of your left foot. And then left hand grabs the inside. And hold on to the foot. And let your shoulders and your head come back down onto the ground. And if you got the foot, don't worry about what your knee looks like. And your leg's going to spiral based on the way that your bones are shaped. If you practice the majority of Detox with your eyes closed, there's moments where you're like, I don't even know where I am right now. You forget which direction you were facing. And it's like recalibrating the inner compass. And therefore reprogramming your mind. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it's not the only tool that you have. All right, let's gently let your left leg or your foot slide out of your hands. You release some of that hot head. Let your leg go straight and your arms by your sides. You might feel good to take these mini sighs. Close the eyes, watch the waves of energy and flow, and they call chi. You can be breaking down some significant roadblocks, ways that your mind, thought things were supposed to be. And then you actually encounter through the practice of being, the way that something is. You may notice a contradiction. And the contradiction then takes you on the path of elevation. Surfacing subconscious to conscious. And let's go ahead and roll on to our left hip. Make your way over, come up onto your left elbow, underneath or just out in front of your shoulder. Straighten your bottom leg, stack your top leg. Make any adjustments to your left elbow to get started. And let gravity bring you into the lateral side bend. Chin can settle in, eyes can close. celebration is that we're no longer running from any part of ourselves. You may feel like you want to run, but this trust, this relationship that you're developing allows you to stay. And that's huge. And so no judgment, sit and see. And remember, it's just shadow and light. If you're feeling it pretty good, you're welcome to stay on your elbow. And for the second half, if you'd like to come up to your palm, turn your left hand forward. You set the hand out in front. And then straighten the arm. And let the shoulders shrug towards the ear. And that might dramatically change. And the sensation lifting higher and towards your armpit. And relax your feet. And notice if you're gripping your jaw. And relax your tongue. And let your eyes get heavy. If you made your way back to your hand, nice and easy, come back down onto your elbow. And walk your hips a little bit back to the left. And let's go ahead and release all the way down onto our backs once again. You might feel those little cracks and the movement of cartilage and the fascia and the connective tissue. As you release your legs and relax your arms, take it all in without trying to take it all in. And see it for what it is and versus what you may want it to be. Let's come into the twist. Move your hips to the left a little bit. And bring your left knee in. And tuck your right hip under. And then bring your left knee all the way over. And right hand can lay, you're not pulling, but your right hand can lay on your outer left thigh. And then you're welcome to take your left arm out into a T or a cactus. Just shadow and light. Bring yourself back to your body, please. And take it nice and easy to release the twist. Bring your left leg back. You feel it roll back onto your bum. And adjust your hips. Set your hips. And release your legs. And just like we started, take your arms back into a cactus shape. It might be a perfect moment to let go of something. And where your mind is so slow that you're able to see it detach. You remember you've never actually been here before. The waves in your brain, the flow and the chi through your body creates a beautiful opportunity to meditate. And to observe without scrutiny. And to be without expectation. And to filter into the essence of your innermost self. And versus just playing defense and from the surface of your skin and what your eyes can see. And let's bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall apart. And place the right hand down onto your belly so the palm of your hand is right over your belly button. And then bring your left hand and to rest on your heart. And so check it out here, everybody. There was no plan. In this space right now, it might feel exactly like what you needed versus what you think you wanted. No plan. And rest with your innermost self here. Please go ahead and straighten your legs out onto your mat. And release your arms so that they're heavy by your sides with your palms facing up. And we'll make our way into our final resting pose this evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is, and that you're experiencing this practice. And close the eyes if it's bright outside. And take your towel, put it over your eyes. And feel how you can listen to the subtle body. And peaceful voice. And I wish you all the opportunity to feel the space of your practice for the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, eventually all the way until we come back to our mat, roughly 15 hours from now. And float with grace, everyone. And elevate our perspective of trust, starting from within. Any moments in where you may spike in fear, stress, anxiety, this practice has got your back. And it's here to support you always. And so please never hesitate. And roll out your mat. Hit play. And it's here. Wishing you all the best. Please take care of yourselves. Reach out. I love hearing from you, your experiences, your ups, your downs, your peaks and your valleys, in your ease and when you're feeling content, whatever it may be. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow for our practice at 10 a.m. And thank you so much for your breath and for all this light and all this energy filtering around the world. And from our home to yours, namaste.